going on in the second joint. I mean, it's kooky stuff happening.
I'm just saying, her time travel is more broken. Oh wait, they can hear us.
There we go.
All alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin G.
alone.
Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside
Got what you need.
looking in. I don't wanna be left on the
coming, man. Try run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card cause one of your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G.
And we're live.
Okay, what's up, everyone? This is episode. What episode? 192. Thank you. 192 of Vitamin G podcast, and I'm your host, because Dante is asleep. And let's get the show rolling. Nappy, how are you, man? What you been playing?
How's it going, everyone? This is your friendly neighborhood ninja, raised in the village here in the hood. For as far as video games, as you see behind me, I have played the recent Wulong game, but it's like a Dark Souls-like title. It's kind of similar to Neo, except its whole gimmick with the Dark Souls thing is it's more so about parries, and that there's not really, and it's tied into your stamina, into your magic. Honestly, it's a really fun game. The demo's out on PC. If you haven't played it, I highly advise you play it because the game's going to come on Game Pass March 3rd, I believe. So that is this weekend. I look forward to playing that game. It's a lot of fun. As you see behind me, you see all the crazy combat, and you can play with up to 3 people. I had a little gaming date, I have got introduced into the Nominary game series, and I have benched 999. And that game, I'm interested in the story, but there's a character in there that has one of the most broken time abilities. It's technically not time travel, but it's basically time travel because she can. It's a whole thing. But yes, I benched that, got all 6 endings. It took me a couple hours. We started at 9 p.m. We didn't finish till 7 a.m. And as far as that, I'm still working on the mobile controller reviews, and I have another controller coming in this week that I am really excited for. So I'm gonna start playing with that controller, doing the unboxing, and start using that controller because I'm really excited for it. So, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on with me.
Okay, and next is Hello, man. How are you? What you been playing?
I haven't played.
Oh, he
much.
think he can join.
Oh,
And
hold on
Drube
a
is
second.
muted, so then copy.
Hold on, I'm
What's
What's
up, man?
going on, everybody?
Oh.
Go ahead,
Good to hear from you guys. Is that Pharaoh?
1 second. Let Pharaoh go first. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Age Split Girl. I haven't been playing much. Been playing Crisis Core, just wrapping that up, and that's about it for the most part.
Mm-hmm. So I saw Madden in VR. Is that something for you?
No, that's Pro Era. That's not Madden. It's a different game.
Okay, but concept-wise, it's just football.
Yeah.
Is that something for you?
If I had a VR headset, would I try it out? Maybe. I might give it a
Mhm.
try.
Gotcha.
If I had a demo,
And
I'll get a demo shot.
mhm.
Question about Crisis Core. Do you like how the story is being told in this, even though you maybe watched it before?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, to me, it just kind of is what it is. Like, kind of going through it again. I think before it came out, Nappy was debating whether there's gonna be any changes. I wasn't necessarily expecting there to be any changes because everything up until that point was going, I guess, as Sephiroth needed it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think the story does a good job of like, shedding light on Zach and kind of showing like who Aerith was before the main story kicked off, and getting a feel for who the Turks were. Because once you jump into like the real world of like Final Fantasy and the main story arc, you don't really get to see the human side of the Turks too much. It's all business and them trying to stop Ambulance. It's cool like seeing them trying to actually save Zach from his fate, but failing to do so, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Net. Kofi, what's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? Sorry that I missed you guys last week. It is great being on this panel with you guys, and I've got 2 games I've really been playing. I want to say off top, I am finally going through a healthy rhythm of playing RPGs. I think in the last 2 months, I'm about to finish my 5th RPG, which started with Chained Echoes, went on to Kuro no Kiseki 2, and Disgaea 7. And I'll stop there for a second. So yeah, I finished Disgaea 7 in the main story. I don't remember if I talked about that here. It's a great Disgaea game that touches on all the things I think that made people reminiscent of the older games in the series. 6 has been a blemish because of how few classes and how the character models are 3D now, and they kind of lost some of the aesthetic charm that games like Disgaea 5 and 4 had. And seeing all of that come back with a mix of the Eastern feudal era theme is obviously something a Japanese developer can really kind of expand on and get a little campy. But the reason why I think the characters work so well is there's always this healthy balance of funny and serious, and having like the arcing theme of this story being that there are 7 individual warlords, and each of them have an ability to wield a weapon that can take down the big shogunate that's ruling the interdimensional worlds of this Disgaea. I think keeps things kind of congealed together. The main character Fuji is one of like your typical. I think he's more high ranked on the badass scale when you compare him to some of the older characters in the Disgaea series. But his partner in crime, this girl, she's basically like an otaku. And so it's weird where she's like this rich otaku who is paying this like defected samurai to take down the shogunate, and all this craziness ensues. And I really enjoyed that. Also, if you are interested in this game, just like Disgaea 6 and Disgaea 5, there will be a complete edition eventually that'll come out in the West that includes 6 DLCs, each of which is a chapter including a character from a prior game. So Laharl is back. All of the characters come back in their own story that'll all be voice acted. And Disgaea 6 did something very similar. And I probably will be getting the Laharl DLC for Disgaea 7 at some point. But I must throw out the negatives. This game is kind of broken. And what I mean is there is a way to grind in this game that's inspired by a Disgaea 2 mechanic that allows you to use things like healing or counterattacks to level up at an extremely fast pace. So you, by your own volition, you can make the game very easy. There's no difficulty setting, and once you get, closer to the end of the story, it really is a breeze if you use these mechanics. Now, there are other things that are very hard. Don't get me wrong. And this guy has always had crazy leveling. For example, Item World is really hard. Now there's online versus, which will always be hard because everybody knows this mechanic. And there are also tournaments where you can go up brackets and get really cool weapons and things like that. So there's always going to be replay value, but the main campaign kind of being killed by this weird loophole that the developers just left in the game is very strange. The game was broken since the demo. So I'm not sure why they decided to go with that. And I'll talk more about that later. And then, of course, right now, I am in the final dungeon of Dragon Quest X: Rise of the Five Tribes. It is a offline remake of the 2012 MMO that originally came out on Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. And I think is it on PC? I don't remember if it's on PC. And it's a really good game. It's a game that takes heavy inspiration by the original trilogy of Dragon Quest by having arcs, like an arc of a story is more tied to an individual kingdom, and you may not necessarily get party interactions that have to do with the story that you're navigating to. So you're a silent protagonist, and you go to Kingdom X, and you solve the problem there, and then you might or might not recruit a character that adds to your adventure. But any character that you recruit won't necessarily have a major role in some other character's story. It's more, you guys are all kind of silent and you kind of solve the conflict when you go there. And at first I was, I'll be honest, the first 20 hours, I was like, this game feels so bare bones. I mean, the first 3-4 bosses, I felt like you could just run through the dungeons. Enemies don't even want to encounter you. Typically you have to run into an enemy to start a fight. They just let you walk past. And I was like, what is this game is supposed to be an offline version of an MMO, but too much of it felt like the bones of what an MMO was, where monsters are kind of just wandering around, not doing anything. But very quickly, I noticed that the stories get really, really good. And the boss fights get pretty hard. I mean, maybe not as hard as Chained Echoes, but you start to see all these crazy mechanics and ways that you can build up your team. Every character, almost like Grandia 1, almost every character can use up to 4 different weapons. So you can build out your character how you want. And then your character can use any weapon in the game and can switch at any point outside of battle. I use, for example, Claws, kind of like a Wolverine style character. And then I would say my 2 main people, one person, she gets stronger for every weapon that she does not equip. So if she's bare knuckled, she has power advantages. And then the guy I use, he can use an axe or a heavy sword or a sword and shield. And then there's other characters as well that rotate in and out. Some are only part of your party for part of an arc, and that's been really great. So to be honest, after some of these story beats, I don't think I'll ever rank Dragon Quest X very low. There are some negatives I'll talk about, I think, more when I finish the game, but I had a really good time, and I just got to beat this final boss so he doesn't kick me in the teeth.
Gotcha. Kofi, what are you interested in getting Hogwarts?
I am interested in getting Hogwarts. I actually have a very strict schedule for gaming now. So just like Nappy, I have Wolong pre-ordered. And it will be, I got it digitally. So, it's going to be installed. And what else? Oh, Octopath Traveler is going to be on the way. So I like Hogwarts. I don't have any issue playing it. But I think I'll play something like Dead Space or Resident Evil 4 before I play Hogwarts.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. As for me, that's what I've been doing. I beat the first real boss in Hogwarts, and Not gonna lie, I wish there was some different mechanic when it comes to the boss fight. Almost make it like puzzly. But besides that, the game is fantastic. I have big issue with some mechanics.
Mm.
Second point, challenges. Challenges are stuff you do in the game that adds up, and then you unlock rewards. But here's the crazy part. Actually unlocking more equipment, inventory equipment space is done via challenges, and you can actually go through the entire game without even knowing about that if you didn't pay attention. Second thing would be the lack of enemy variety. Um, Especially after playing other uh, games, like this one is lacking when it comes to stuff like that.
Is this worse than Tales of Arise's enemy variety?
I never played that, so I can't
Mm.
comment about that, but I heard it's notorious. So that's gonna be interesting. And other than that, just with okay, so I would love to have a developer. Well, I know a developer. I'm gonna flat out invite him and have him come to my show. Again, I wanna know when developer. So here's the thing: the developer created a puzzle that wants me to solve it. Basically, I need to use my wand and uh, move a box so I can climb up and grab a ladder all the way to the top. Oh, do you know what I just do? I simply hop on my broom and fly. Like, did the developer didn't even think about that? Or do they simply not care? Because I had the same issue with Immortal Phoenix Rising, another game I truly love. It's like some of the mechanics flat out breaks the game. When you're supposed to be doing puzzles and you're like, instead of going all from A all the way to B to C to D, why not
Yeah,
Pharaoh?
no, we're still live. Pharaoh just went into the timeout for not being
Oh.
AFK.
Oh,
that was
okay.
supposed to be- that was supposed to be fixed.
Oh, okay, because I was afraid that if he left the mean, we lost connection. Okay, but yeah. Hogwarts, I recommend it. I really do. It's just nothing has toppled Borderlands when it comes to actual loot system, actual implementation of upgrade, actual give you substantial amount of space. And I really wish Hogwarts, like especially with Hogwarts being a magical place, why don't I have a pocket dimension? Why must my space be limited? That's the biggest beef for me when it comes to that.
Any
Jube,
microtransactions in this game?
yeah? Sorry?
Any microtransactions in this game?
No. No. Whatsoever. No. I will say though, you're gonna see a lot of returning equipment, and most of them are not that cool. I'm level 25, and I've yet to be impressed with a single equipment. Like the mask I'm wearing is cool and fine, dandy, but I have yet to see something where I'm like, damn, that's sick. Jube, you're silent. What's up with you? And what's your thought on my gripe with Hogwarts? Because you're playing it.
I am playing it. Hey everybody. I've also been playing Hogwarts. I've also been playing Like a Dragon Ishin. My streaming schedule last week got fucked, so I didn't get a chance to get to Atomic Heart or Legend of Dragoons. Hopefully, I'll knock that out this week. I actually have a sponsorship stream coming up next month that I planning around and gotta get that done. That should be fun.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Money is always nice, but yeah. As far as Hogwarts, I get what you're saying. Those puzzles you're talking about where you can use your broom, were you outside or inside?
Sorry?
The puzzles you were talking about, where you could like use your broom to circumvent some things, were you outside or inside?
No, I'm outside.
Yeah,
For example, when you go to upgrade your magic pool,
Mhm.
they show you that bubble that you need to collect. You need to
Yeah.
collect 3. They show
Yep.
you one is all the way on top, and they give you boxes. I'm like, screw that. I will go out, hop on my broom and fly and
Yeah.
grab it.
I mean that's not detrimental because not everybody thinks or plays like that. So for those of us with big brain moments like that, we know we can just fly the broom. That does not work if you're indoors though. So that's the other
No.
thing.
If you're indoors, it's different.
Yeah, there are box puzzles where you have to actually use the box because you're inside and you don't have
Yeah.
access to the room. So I get it. I can understand the gripe for sure. Even as far as like the Merlin challenges being tied to like how
Yeah.
much gear. The
Like,
other thing
I did my Merlin challenges, but I had no idea they give you that that upgrade. Like, a
yeah.
friend of mine told me, and it was that way I went. I'm like, damn, I had twice the amount that I could upgrade now.
Well, you find out when you look in the book. Like when you're getting stuff out of the book, it's telling you what it's giving you
Yeah.
to do when you do the challenge. So it's just you just got to pay a little bit more attention. Thing I don't like though is if you try to collect something or you do like a boss fight or open a chest and your shit's full, you don't get anything. You get 0 drops. It doesn't fall on the ground. Nothing. It disappears. You don't get it.
Wait,
So
really?
yeah, absolutely.
I had no
So
idea.
if
I
you're
thought. No, wait. Wait. Explain what you mean, because I'm now
so
confused now.
before I was getting like the Merlin upgrades back when I had like, whatever the 20 or whatever gear slots or whatever, I was full. My inventory was full.
Yeah.
I opened a big chest and got nothing out of it because my inventory was full. That
Wait,
is
but
totally a thing.
did the chest close or
No. I had to go back a save, delete some things from my inventory, and then open the chest, but it's all RNG, so I don't even know what I could have got, but I didn't get what I originally got when I went back to the chest. And
that never happened to me. When I open a chest and I don't have a space, they tell me you don't have a space. You need to make space before you can open.
Yep, it was the chest in the greenhouse. I'm pretty sure you've
I
gotten
think
that one, that big ass one.
I think maybe so. Basically, I experienced a few glitches. Maybe that was a glitch.
I could repeat it. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Like it's weird. And then on that same save, like when I actually went back and got the item, it then like glitched where I'm falling under the map, and I had to like go back even further.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what
Falling
causes
forever.
that, but that shit sucks. And you can't press anything. You can't pause the game. You literally have to quit out, and then you have to find another save because you were going to load right back into that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it auto saves right there. That sucks.
Yep. There's nothing you can do about it. So I've lost gear that way. So I've lost gear both of those ways.
You
dealing
need
with that.
you need to save significantly if you
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair though, autosave have 3 different levels, right?
It's auto saving like 3 or 4 times for sure.
Oh yeah, then you're screwed. Because I had that moment happen to me after I
Mhm.
beat an area. I jumped down, and it would not let me use my broom.
Ooh.
Despite the fact I was in open area, I
Uh-huh.
had enough space. It would simply not let me use my broom.
Yep. And then I mean, once I realized I mean, you have an owl in your room you can get mail from, but you can also check your mail without going to the owl. So it's kind of stupid to have an owl.
Yeah, that's redundant.
I would have liked that. I would have been like, "Hey, owl, I need you to send some stuff back to my dorm or something to put in an inventory chest, I totally would have took that.
I was about to literally say that. That would have made it very helpful. Like,
Yeah.
again, why the fuck is there not even an inventory, almost like a loot?
No, let me tell you why though, because there's no point. All you care about is the numbers on the gear. Because once you collect something, it goes into your collection, so you can make any gear look like something you've already picked up. So you amassing gear doesn't matter. That's why I learned like the inventory space. If it's weaker than what I got, I'm killing it. If I like how it looks, I'll just transmog it onto what I'm wearing, and then I'll have it on. You don't have to
Wait,
keep.
how do you transmog it? Maybe I have yet to unlock that.
No, it's it took me. I was already 10 hours into the game before I was on my stream talking about like I look like a jackass. Like, like I look stupid as hell running around with these goggles and shit. And then I realized you can if you pause the game, you go to your inventory screen where you can see everything. If you highlight something and press X, you can transmog it into anything else that you've touched in the game. So you don't have to sit there and hoard things.
X
Just
on Xbox.
in.
Another thing
So that would
for
be
me,
Square
I'm
on
like,
PlayStation, 'cause
Square,
I'm pretty
Square,
sure that Omar's
Square.
playing on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it'll be Square. He I'm pretty sure he knows what I meant. But
yeah. Another, yeah, I thought it was gonna be different for PlayStation. Another thing I would say is they give you legendary early, but
Mhm.
they're not allowing you to put traits on. I'm like
you unlock the ability to put traits on it. You just gotta wait. That's
as additional. That defeats the purpose. Then
yeah.
what's the purpose of having legendary if I can put traits on it? So
Like I said, it all comes down to the numbers. Like you're not worried about
yeah.
what gear it is. You just want your numbers to constantly go up. And then once you do that and you're at where you want to be, that's when you go in and you start transmogifying shit and you look how you want to look in that case.
Yeah, but look, we may sound like we have a lot of gripe with the game, but trust me, the game is amazing. The
I
game
have a question.
The game is
is
great. What's up?
fantastic.
Are you surprised that the developer announced that they won't be doing any DLC for Quidditch or additional storylines?
I'm disappointed because they could have.
With the
They could
brooms,
have
I
been.
absolutely could have took Quidditch. I would have loved Quidditch, but
They could have done so much stuff with the DLC. Like they could have actually revisited the Harry Potter IP, gave us like the ability to swim underwater, something. And I have fights underwater. How in one of the movie, Harry Potter gets the ability to drink something or eat something and is able to swim and breathe and fight underwater. Something like that.
We need the Tri-Wizard Cup DLC. Like we need the Goblet of Fire DLC. Essentially, I would have loved to have like challenges like that to do. But it's okay that we're not.
The only reason I think it's okay is not if we're gonna get a part 2, which I think it's already confirmed.
Yeah, here's hoping.
And one final thing, because I know we already went through with this one. I really wish there is an explanation to how to do certain moves.
Like
what I mean by that, when they tell you you need to hit you need the troll to hit itself with the club.
Yeah, you have to figure that out. You have to levitate the club. You have to do that.
I'm like, I use flip
you have
window, doesn't work. No, the club needs actually to be on the ground. He actually needs, and then you can flip it. I'm like, thank you.
It's weird. Like, have you? I've finally figured out like I don't know if you ran into like the giant frog things, like figuring out how to freeze them when they stick their tongue out, and then you can like cut their tongue off. Like,
yeah, I did. It's iffy as well.
Yeah, some of the challenges they try to make you do is like, we're not going to tell you how to do this. You just got to figure it out, and you're just sitting there just throwing random spells, and the thing's gonna fucking die before you figure it out. And then you're like, okay, well, that challenge is gone now, and then it'll come back up at some point. But yeah, I really wish they'd tell you how to do it.
You played Forspoken, right? The demo?
Yeah.
If you had to choose between Forspoken Magic Switch or Hogwarts Magic Switch, which would you choose? Final topic.
Forspoken definitely has better magic switch. Like
Yeah.
I'm mad that I'm stuck with only four basically spell wheels. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
rather have a spell wheel with with another button to hold for a modifier to get more out of that. That way, I
Yeah.
can actually equip all of the spells because you can't equip all of the spells at once. Like you have to sit
No,
there
you
and
can.
go into a menu, and because you only get 16 spells, and there's more than 16 spells in the game. So,
Yeah. This
Because
is what
I was thinking like, hey, I'm gonna color code these. Like, I'm gonna have a wheel for all the yellow spells for all this, and then I'm realizing like with how combos and shit work, that doesn't necessarily work. So, but then there's also redundant spells like the Incendio spell can be replaced with like the Confringo spell because that's like the long range version of it, and it does the same thing. They both light things on fire. So I mean, sure.
To be fair though, Insignia is more AoE, while the long version is just one person.
You can upgrade it to hit multiple people.
Oh yeah, you can update it. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you do that, it's like Incendio is literally useless. Like you're not.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, we have gone way too long with this one. Let's start into the first topic, which is going to be state of play. Okay, so PlayStation held its state of play, and it was lackluster at best. A few surprises came out of it. One, Chia is going to be day one on PlayStation Plus. That's a game I'm absolutely looking forward to. Another is Goodbye Volcano High. Xbox just had its rhythm game. PlayStation now is having its rhythm game, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not a fan of music, so this might be a skip for me. I am interested in story though. Other than that, Capcom, shout out to Nappy. He said, "I'm gonna let you do the honor with this one." After it, yeah, go ahead, do your honor.
Okay, so I have to say that Capcom kind of stole the show for this showcase. For Street Fighter 6 announcing the 3 new players that characters for Street Fighter 6 was actually a great addition that I enjoyed. And also was looking at Resident Evil 4's gameplay and some of the additions of how they basically are keeping true to the story but adding a new like modern like gameplay to it where basically like the first thing where Leon can actually move and shoot. Your AI companion that you have to the president's daughter that you have to protect at one point. She's not as much of a damsel in distress as she was in 4. She was extremely annoying in 4 in the original, but
they actually revamped that.
Yeah, so they showed off like she actually follows you around and listens to what you say and doesn't walk up to the enemy just to get picked up and then and then as the enemy walks away as she gets surrounded. I'm overall like I said, when I watched that show, Capcom was like the highlight for me. The worst thing I saw for that was Suicide Squad. I already had a bad taste because I was one of the people who played Gotham Knights day one, was not impressed, and then I see Suicide Squad, which I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Suicide Squad will give DC Universe good justice. No, the gameplay looked pretty generic as like a third-person shooter, and the worst thing I saw in the menu, it said Battle Pass, and I'm like, no, $70 game with a we're done. Pack it up, leave.
They did explain that it's cosmetic only.
I don't care. No, I'm by. Excuse me. No, out. Pack it up, leave. We're done. Show's over. I don't care. I'm done. No more battle passes. For the love of God, man. I just want to.
Every multiplayer game now have almost like a battle pass. They can point Call of Duty, Halo, you name it.
I'm mad at those games too. I haven't touched. Only reason I touched Call of Duty is because of the World War because it does Battlefield better than Battlefield currently. I don't play for that Battle Pass. I lost all my tokens from season 1. I haven't spent a single one. And I'm like, oh no, you want me so I lost all my tokens and you expect me to buy the Battle Pass for season 2? Yeah, I'm good. I can stick I'm just having fun. But overall
my question for you, Put Battle Pass aside. What you thought on the gameplay, what the actual show for Suicide Squad? And the story.
So the story actually seems pretty interesting. With basically the Justice League has gone evil and basically wreak havoc of the city. Wonder Woman, when Wonder Woman came in with the lasso rope around the Flash and basically saying, "How can I fix this?" and the Flash saying, "The only way you can do this is by killing me." It's an interesting concept. And also they only people that they hired the Suicide Squad because basically they're the only ones that can stop the Justice League. It's an interesting story wise, gameplay wise, not so much. I mean, the town seemed pretty bare bones, and I kind of can understand why it was a little bare bones because if Justice League is evil, they pretty much screwed up the town. I can understand it, but honestly, the gameplay was not like a wow to me. It looked like Crackdown. It was It reminded me a lot of Crackdown.
I was about to say that shit. That shit was Crackdown with DC skins, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not impressed with it. And I'm like, if I want to jump around the city destroying crap, I'll just play Crackdown. And that's already a 4-player co-op game. So
I think what made it worse is all of them use guns. There is no uniqueness to them.
They all. I mean, they didn't use a gun. I mean, they have some of the characters. Basically, like all of them have like gun-based abilities. None of them. It's like it kind of like goes against like their like preferred fighting styles. So like I said, it's all third-person shooter. Crackdown. I'm okay. I'm good. I pass. I'm sorry, Gotham Knight. You already hurt me with Gotham Knights. You're not gonna hurt me with this game too.
So the story is not good enough for you to think, okay, not even
Especially for
detail?
$70. Especially for $70, no.
Nah, this doesn't look $70.
This is not a $70 game.
What I saw doesn't scream $70. Real talk, it doesn't even scream $60.
I'll say $40.
Because how similar the the character look gameplay wise. But they did say they plan on updating it and getting new character and stuff. So it's a work in progress.
Stop selling me a false dream, okay? Just
it's a work in progress.
Stop selling me a fantasy.
Yeah,
I'll go to a strip club if I want to be sold a fantasy.
This is why I play single player games. As for me, one of the big highlights for me was PlayStation getting a demo, Resident Evil 4 demo. I'm like,
yeah, nice. Capcom stole the show.
They did. Between Chia, PlayStation, Resident Evil 4 demo, and an interesting, to say the least, showcase of Justice League. Oh, and Capcom doing their thing with Street Fighter. I would give a show a 5-. What would you give it?
For me, I'll say the show was average at best. Again, I'll say it's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's nothing. I don't think it was meant to be big to begin with.
A lot of it could have easily been a tweet. That's basically it. Like, nothing what I've seen was showcase needed. That's what I'm trying to say. Kofi, what's your thoughts?
I'll spoil and say I gave the show at least like a C, being average, and my expectations were checked at the door. When they said this is going to be VR, I said, okay, I'm not buying VR. Most likely not this year. I do think from what I've seen, the technology is impressive, but I know they're going to show a bunch of games I don't care about or won't be playing. That being said, them having a moment to celebrate VR right after the release of VR. You guys know I'm part of the GT7 community, and a lot of the GT7 community don't like the people who I follow on YouTube or on Twitter or on forums, they don't really play other PlayStation first party games. They're not jumping into Last of Us or playing God of War or Horizon or Tsushima or something like that. They just play GT and they have all these huge rigs and they're freaking out about VR. So there's a huge positive influence. And so when the State of Play got announced, for the first time I was seeing GT fans saying, oh, I want to watch State of Play because I just got this headset and sometimes I don't want to drive. I want to, I got these controllers that came with my headset, so I want to check out some other things. So seeing them react positively to some things that were shown in the State of Play is really cool, like Synapse, Green Hell, and the Foglands. I think that was pretty interesting. Things that jumped out at me, I also agree with you, Omar, that Chia looks great. We have also seen Chia before, so that was something I guess that was like, okay, that's pretty decent. For them to announce the March monthly games, I actually have not purchased any of these, and I have been interested in at least 2 of them. And again, those monthly March games was Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein, all part of, I think, Extra. That was, oh no, I'm sorry, those are all Essential. So that was, another decent C grade level thing. One that hit me a little bit in the nostalgia. I'm curious if you guys feel the same way. When PlayStation 3 first came out and it didn't have, one I really couldn't afford to buy games at the time. The first game I 100%ed was called Echochrome, and it was like this 3D level where you use like this doll character and you have to walk over certain areas in this 3D space. But the 3D space you can kind of bend the dimensions based on how you perceive them, almost like those abstract arts where like the stairs are going upside down. And that was a really, really fun game, to jump into. And the game that was revealed here, Humanity, really reminds me of like what Echochrome, like it almost feels like a spiritual successor to Echochrome. Where now,
Can you remind me what
Humanity
Humanity
is like this dog character that are leading like hundreds of people over these different like obstacles, and you have to get them to walk.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
This
oh,
is
yeah,
from
that
the
game.
developer of Tetris. I remember what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it feels like to me like Sony felt the same way I did, and they looked at it like this looks like what Echochrome could become at the next stage. So Humanity definitely looked really cool to me. The fact that they had like the Jedi saber fight, it was like, what is going on? But that's how Echochrome made me feel back when PS3 first came out. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this is so interesting to me. So I like the abstractness. Volcano High looks kind of decent. It does have a visual novel style inspiration, and I do think that the voice acting seemed not corny, and I think that's a pretty big compliment for me. Thinking it wasn't corny. And then Naruto Ultimate Storm Connections came out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I love CyberConnect 2. In fact, really quick, they have this new game called Fuga. Fuga and Fuga 2 just got announced. So CyberConnect 2, shout out to them. But Naruto, I don't like the gameplay. The gameplay's not complicated enough to me.
I
like the animations are great.
That.
The animations look amazing. It's some of the best. Like I would want them to make animations for almost any.
What do you mean you don't like
game.
the gameplay?
The gameplay is like too simple to pull off some of the best moves. You being a Mortal Kombat player, you know that there's some skill required to get some of the timing of these things. But Naruto is just like, come on, man, just hit 3 buttons and you're gonna do the best.
I kind of, I don't know. In the 360 days when I used to play I used to be in GameStop, and then we finally got that game. Me and my friends, we'd be going at it. There's combos in that game. There's button mashing.
You can do basic stuff. You can do some stuff like the ultimate move, but you need to be able to combo. Because you can go in with a spamming character and still lose against better players. They're gonna outplay you.
Okay. I guess I come from like a King of Fighters lifestyle where like combos, you drop combos like that. Like 1 frame off and you're gone. And the commitment, I mean, I don't really discount Mortal Kombat either. I feel like Mortal Kombat has pretty high skill for getting combos correct. So I guess when I came to Naruto, I don't remember what version I played, but it just felt way too like followed to the animation at the end. And the animations look great. And I love that they had the story.
3, if you're talking about 3, then I understand. 3 was maybe a little too easy. But 4, actually, they kind of fixed it. And then also the new DLC that they added about Indra and Ashura I was like a little jealous that PlayStation's getting some DLC, but then I realized they probably paid this company to bring back a dead game. Well, it's not really dead. There's still a community around it, but just to add 2 characters, so that's going to bring a bunch of players back, and it may not. Who knows?
The DLC, what surprised me was the inclusion of Baruto. And the Baruto
who I
storyline.
already don't like.
Boruto's already in
Yeah.
there. Internet and Ashura was the exclusive DLC, so this is a PlayStation exclusive DLC. And then for me and my friends, we talked about, we were like, we don't care.
You sound like Stephen A. Smith. Let me tell you right now, we don't care.
It's cool, but like, yeah.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Another thing. The most hype game that made me go, oh my goodness, Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, Baldur's Gate. The reason I like Baldur's Gate is because of Divinity Original Sin, and I know that Jubei definitely agrees with me. This is just like, to me, this is my way of saying, you know what? Western RPGs can be 10 out of 10 experiences. And seeing Larian and them taking the time to have this in early access for 3 years.
2 years?
Literally, this was in early access in 2019. Yep. And actually,
I know,
like you, Nappy, I've had early access since 2019. So I've seen the progress that they've made. And I wasn't expecting it to come day one to PlayStation because in 2017, Divinity Original Sin came out on PC, and there was no discussion about when the console was released at the time of PC's release. So for them to say, hey, this is coming to PlayStation day one, I was like, oh, snap. And like, one thing I always feel like gets overlooked by Larian and them working on Divinity and now this game is they've got drop in, drop out co-op for the entire experience. And so few games do that. So few RPGs, I'm talking about, like the genre RPGs specifically, don't have like drop in, drop out, entire story, do what you want, play with your friends. And this one's got split screen, outside of online. So respect to Larian for setting the standard and consistently going through that. I love them so much. One last thing I'll say is, you guys mentioned Resident Evil 4 and obviously like the improved combat. I just want to say one thing I love that they did. It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Remake is that Luis does not die in the opening sequences now. And I think it's really interesting for him to be useful and to develop his own story. And of course, seeing Krauser, to me, Krauser is like the level of Nemesis or Mr. X. I just felt like he was one of the most iconic villains. And so as soon as I saw him on screen, I'm like, oh, I just remember playing this on GameCube and how much I just remember watching it. I'm like, I can't believe they're having this knife fight. And it's just like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So, really excited for all that stuff. So that's why I gave it a C, because it was just enough things for me to say I would be buying some of these things down the road. But yeah, and of course, Street Fighter looked great.
One last thing I want to say before I go to Jubei, which would be that VR game where if you blink in game, you move forward in time. I meant if you blink in real life, you actually skip time in the game. Like
So many people about to go blind.
Some unique concept. And I'm looking forward to how that's gonna be. Did you guys see it or no one saw it?
I know a game. I saw the game where it's about blink, you go forward in time, and I mean, it's a really cool concept. I'm scared that people are going to go blind because they're going to keep their eyes open. I don't know if you guys ever put on VR headsets, but for a long period of time, you start getting headaches because it's the way how your eyes dilate to the screen, and it's not used to it, and kind of almost like similar to getting on the boat getting seasick. It's like your perception it messes with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious about like. It's a cool concept. I'm just going to be curious about. There's going to be that one person that's just going to be having their eyes open for like 3 or 4 hours, and it's going to be funny, but not funny. But yeah, but it's a cool concept. I mean, I didn't know the VR headset can actually track if your eyes are blinking.
With VR2, I think it does.
Yeah, that's a cool concept.
Yeah. Jubei, what's your thoughts on the show?
Dog water.
Okay.
Jesus. Absolute dog water. So as you know, I'm not paying $550 to partake in the VR fan club. I'm good on that. I will wait for that shit to be $3.99 or below before I decide to jump. Because what I'm worried about is they're doing all of this yipping and hollering and promoting, and then they stop supporting the motherfucker. And I'm asked out $550. So I'm not trying to do all that. So the whole first part of that show was a skip. I'm like, I'm not gonna be experiencing any of that shit. Like Nappy said, Capcom absolutely saved the day. It was cool to see the new Street Fighter 6 characters that I already knew were going to be in the game because it ain't Street Fighter without Zangief. That's one of my mains. I wish they would have did that shit at Capcom.
Where is Dudley? That's all I got to say about that. I forgot.
Bro,
to say
you know,
Ah.
Dudley is a little niche, bro. He's not
that
he's
hurt my
not
heart.
there. It could be DLC. Actually, have you noticed there are no Shadowloo bosses in this game? Absolutely none. There's no Bison. There's no Vega. There's no Balrog. They're non-existent. They're not in the game.
Wait, they're not here?
No, they're not on the roster.
You're gonna sell them to you
Absolutely.
later.
They're going
Maybe
to be
the-
DLC, which means
I
I'm
was
gonna have
about to
fucking
say,
pay
maybe
for the
DLC.
Shadowloo characters. Yeah,
I
they
like
will be
these.
DLC at this point.
I like the fact that he
Mhm.
says I have to pay. Like he
I
says,
have
it's
to.
not, even
Oh,
a-
I
it's not for
have to.
discussion.
It's
He's
not
going
up
to
for
pay
discussion.
for it.
It's Street Fighter 6, bro. It's not up for discussion. It was never up for discussion. Yeah, I did not like the collector's edition they did for that, so I opted for the one right below that because I'm like, this shit's stupid. I'm paying y'all $150 for this dumbness. But I got the game. I got the first season pass, wherever it comes in the Ultimate Edition. So all that is prepaid. I will be ready when the new characters drop. Outside of that, Resident Evil 4 actually looks really exciting. I'm getting giddy all over again. Like I'm excited to play that game again. I haven't touched that game since like the PS2 and the GameCube. So
Mm-hmm.
that's several years for me. Like when was the last time I fucking played that game? Yeah, long fucking time ago. I was a young man, a teenager.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So that's gonna be fresh.
It's considered retro gaming at this point.
right.
Oh god,
Right.
it's retro.
We're old. We're
Oh.
old, bro. We're old. Just seeing Suicide Squad, I was like it's sad to see like all these devs that were so great the last couple of gens, like Rocksteady. Like they could do no wrong. Even though Arkham Knight's PC port was not great, the game itself
I
was
remember that.
pretty damn good. You know what I mean? Like they it's like it was one of those studios where it's like they don't miss. It's just like CD Projekt Red, and then this gen happens, and it's like CD Projekt Red. They dropped, Cyberpunk, and that wasn't great at launch for some people. And then you now have Rocksteady doing this weird games as a service, like with Crackdown graphics, and I'm just like, didn't
Crackdown graphic or Crackdown gameplay?
both. Like
Okay.
like when it pans out and you're like jumping like around the city and like maneuvering, that shit is all Crackdown, like 100%.
Mm.
Like you can't get away from it. Like that. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's all I can see. That's all I can think about. Is that
Yeah, same. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, Crackdown 2 was the game. I love that, but I don't know.
Mm.
I'm
I mean,
just like this.
The 3 campaign was fun. My problem with 3 was I finished the multiplayer in an hour and a half. Like I maxed all the achievements for it, so it was like there's nothing left for me to do here. It only took like 12 games. I'm good. Uninstall. And I did it like the fact that I did that shit like I was gonna stream it like thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be streaming this for a couple of days, and it's like an hour and a half later and I'm done, and I'm like, there's no more multiplayer achievements. Well, that was trash. Like cool, like day one. I did all that shit day one too, like the day it came out, so I felt even. I'm hoping that story wise it's good because Rocksteady can at least do that, but it's not a day one buy for me, which sucks because I bought a lot of their games day one. I waited on Arkham Asylum, and then I was right there day one when Arkham City dropped. Same there with Arkham Knight. I can't do it. I can't do it for Suicide Squad. Overall, without Capcom saving the day, this show was a 2 for me. With Capcom, I'll slide him a 6. Just 'cause
What? A 6?
So how? Wait, hold
Six.
up. You call it
That's
dog
about me, too.
water, and
Because
then
it's
you
dog,
say
bro.
a 6?
You know I love Street Fighter, bro. It doesn't.
That's true.
I love.
You gave it
He
higher
goes and
than
buys it
me.
wherever
I
it's
gave
at.
it. I'm a PlayStation fan, and I gave it a 5 minus, and you give it a 6.
I'll give it
Okay.
a 6. I gave it a 6.
Hey, I respect it.
While I wanted them to show those characters at Capcom Cup, because this was the last Capcom Cup for Street Fighter 5, I wish though the character reveal was not attached to this dog shit ass show. But because it was, I have to give them points for that, because that's all I wanted. I literally replayed that part like 5 or 6 times at work, because I'm like, oh, look at these combos though.
I have
Yeah.
a question. What the fuck happened to Pragmata? Oh, but that's something else. I will ask after you, after Pharaoh. Pharaoh.
I don't
Pharaoh.
think it'd be shown at this thing, but yeah.
I did not actually catch the show. I missed it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, can't really give like
Well,
a
hey,
solid opinion on it.
If you need a good nap, this week, bro, go ahead and turn that show on. You'll fall right asleep.
Now, come on. Let's be real. We have seen what shows?
From Sony, this is the worst one. This is absolutely the worst one.
I mean, y'all can't
No,
overreact to these
no,
shows.
no.
Yes,
No,
yes,
God. No,
It's a
God,
market.
no.
You have a
show.
drought. You have a drought with no showcases, and then this is what they give you. It was a slap in the face to those people that are out there like really.
No, because one, I knew that this was not PlayStation focused, PlayStation centered. Like, I knew that going in. I was
It's
not
not a,
disappointed.
when's the next showcase? Because
I don't know. When that happened, they're gonna do when PlayStation have two showcase. They have the regular one, where they show the stuff, and then the indie one where they do
But
state of play. This was a state of play. This was not a main showcase. That's the difference.
But are we gonna get another one of those? Because what else do they have to show for this year?
I have no idea.
Spider-Man 2 is like the only thing that comes to mind. I can't think of any other first-party game that might be soon.
Word on the street is we might get a showcase soon, so you will see. I'm actually thinking until the Activision Blizzard deal either go through or get cancelled, we know we are not gonna see some big stuff. Sadly,
That's true.
Pharaoh is he didn't see the show. Okay. So question: what happened to Pragmata?
I don't
think
know.
it's
It hasn't been talked about. It's in limbo, I bet.
Yeah, it's a deep down
Pragmata,
situation.
we saw gameplay of not gameplay. God forbid we saw gameplay. We saw teaser trailer and that's it.
Yep. It's just like
Maybe
deep down, man.
Deep down, they showed that shit. They're like, it's coming.
Oh yeah,
Video
deep
time.
down.
Deep down.
I'm surprised you brought that up. I forgot that even existed. That's how long it's been since I've heard about it.
There is deep down. There is two Dragon games that came. Hey, welcome back, Nappy.
Yeah.
There is deep down. There is also PlayStation 1, not Everwild, that's Xbox One, but Into the Wild or something. I'm sorry, something to the degree where I think they announced it at the PlayStation 4 era. Where
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
so a lot of games get either lost in shuffle or flat out disappear.
Oh, it was. I think it was just called Wild. By the way, I don't think it was called.
Yeah, Wild. Yeah, something like Wild. Yeah.
We haven't heard none of that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like Ubisoft, they even at one point they said
Actually, that game is canceled. It's not coming out. If you Google
No,
it,
apparently it's not. Apparently, I read somewhere that it's still in work.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't
know.
the dude that was working on it retired, but the director retired, but he said development would continue on without him. But I'm pretty sure that this is about to be vaporware. Yeah,
I'm not saying.
The main writer and director left. The heart of the game, the whole point that the game exists, is gone. So somebody else is gonna have to.
So basically, what happened with our next topic, which is Beyond Good and Evil 2, the main developer. I mean, what the main the head of studio left for Beyond Good and Evil 2. Another game that have been in limbo for quite a while now. Good segue, Jubei.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, we just found out that. Give me a second to pull it up. Head Beyond Studio head no longer at Ubisoft. So yeah. Apparently last year Ubisoft's ambitious sci-fi multiplayer adventure Beyond Good and Evil 2 surpassed Duke Nukem Forever dubious record for having the longest development time of any video game. Oh, so then you're going beyond Last Guardian. Okay. Last week's staff at Ubisoft Montpellier were informed the managing director was no longer with the company. Kotaku has learned. It comes as the studio faces a labor investigation by local government authorities over an unprecedented number of developers experiencing burnout and going on sick leave. Ubisoft Multiplayer has been working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 in some shape or form. That goes to show how bad it is, in some shape or form, for over a decade now. The follow-up, the original 2003 cult hit, sharing photojournalist Jade, has turned into one of the most notoriously beleaguered production at Ubisoft and in the games industry in general. Now, with the game still not even technically in full production, it faces a personnel shakeup among its core team and an investigation by the Inspection du Travail in Montpellier, France. According to the three sources familiar with the development, who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to speak about it. The health and wellness of our team is an ongoing priority, a spokesperson for Ubisoft told Kotaku. Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna, give them all that stuff.
I'm about to say, I think we got the main point.
Sorry. You should have cut me up way early. Dude, this, like, Beyond Good and Evil is one of my favorite games, called classic, yeah, for sure. When the lead gameplay for 2 came out, which is what I shared on. Can you share it? Oh, no. Pharaoh is the one hosting. Look up Beyond Good and Evil 2 leak gameplay, and it's from 2009, I think.
When I do it, it messes with the stream. If someone else can just share.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I put it in in Twitter group chat, and that gameplay, that's all I needed from Beyond Good and Evil to upgrade itself. And then we saw the actual gameplay reveal, and God, no.
Well, you're talking about comparing the CG trailer, the original trailer.
Yeah, with Jade all grown up running away. Yeah, that looked good.
Just an epic.
Yeah, it was, especially if you're a fan of the franchise, of the series. So seeing where they were and where they are now, which is almost like a generic sci-fi online game they want to focus on. Yeah, I know it's very ambitious, but yeah, This is not even dead on arrival. This is dead. The capital of dead. DED. It's over. Back it up. Kofi, what you thought?
I'm also really disappointed that overall, Ubisoft seems to have gone downhill, and experimental games. I feel like this game, being a unique IP, having no, no other medium tied to it. Being completely original. You put it at the highest risk for being nixed. When it comes to making a next gen version. And because of all of their other heavy money-making franchises not doing well, this one's definitely going to get hurt the most. And so that's, I think, the most disappointing thing from a bird's eye view. And again, seeing a trailer for this brings you back to the days where you got hyped for things, like all the way back when Killzone 2 was overhyped. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Like, wow, this could be everything. And then to see it, literally never come out. It does kind of make me frown when I think of the publisher in general. I know that they're going through a lot of other things. And then, okay, so I just wanted to bring you back to, I think this was like 2019 or 2018, where the game was already in development hell. People kept asking, is this game still in development? And they had a stage offering. I think this might have been during an E3, where there was a Ubisoft part where the director and I think his right-hand woman came out and they said, hey, we're still making the game. The budget's a little bit smaller. But, this time, we're developing the game based on what fans want in the game. So we want you to say, oh, we want a big open level where you could fly around like the Jetsons. And it would be so cool, right? And I remember watching this. I'm like, this sounds like a terrible idea. It'll be a coagulated mess. And that was like 5 years ago. I feel like definitely before the pandemic. So just since then, they've been very silent. Maybe just saying, "Oh, we're still here, sitting in front of a desk." So I guess my expectations were kind of not so high since that point.
So, would you agree to say this is over? Packed up?
Oh yeah, it's over. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's over.
Okay. Nappy?
Well, Ubisoft has been really messing up. I mean, they've been trying to stick to. It kind of sucks to see that like this game is like under Ubisoft. It kind of makes me want to hope that somebody saves this game, somebody buys this IP, so it won't die.
PlayStation.
Nah, because I wanted to come on PC day one. Y'all Sony people are stingy, but I like it. It's unfortunate, especially like hearing about the sick issues and throughout the crunch time, and like looking at this like now just brings back memories of what this game could have been. And honestly, like the fact that like Ubisoft is hurting for so much money, they're canceling IPs. This game is still in development hell. Basically one of the heads of Ubisoft for this project, he just left, and it just makes you question, like, you know what, like, just screw it. I mean, looks like it's going to be a glorified tech demo at most at this point. I don't see much coming out of this game, which truly sucks because it had something going, and
it was unique. The ability to make use of photograph as a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, but it's no longer the case anymore. It's It's a dead story, unfortunately. Now it's a game I wish I could. If now what people could do is they could probably like someone get their hands on like the files if they do cancel this and make it like a fan made community built little couple.
Can
of
you
Amazon
not
servers.
get sued because of that?
I mean, I'm not saying you can. I'm not saying it's right. I mean, if it's not being sold and it's completely let go, then I don't see nothing wrong with the community trying to bring this.
Well, there is you not seeing anything wrong with it, and them suing you. So there is that.
I'll get a cease and desist at most. I'm not making money. It's purely out of love.
Gotcha. Pero, what you thought?
I I just think it's really unfortunate. Ubisoft has gone through a lot of issues lately. I think kind of what we're seeing is a symptom of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much hope for the game. I never played the original, but
Mm,
you lose your lead on a game that's been having issues. I mean, maybe they just decide to reboot it, or cancel it altogether, kind of go with a new direction. Um, that's kind of like, I guess, would be the best case scenario if you came around.
gotcha.
I mean, they don't really have a lot of options.
They certainly are. Jube,
Yes.
what's your thought? You're a fan, eh?
Huh?
You're a fan?
I wouldn't say all that.
Mm. So, break it down. Or is your after all you ever gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, for that, it's rough. Yeah. Uh, games going into development hell just kind of
Yeah, it does.
it makes me super sad. Like they showed like the reveal trailer for that, and I was like, yeah.
Mm,
And then what did we get? Shit sandwich, which is
We
yep.
didn't even get that. We got nothing, actually. We got an air sandwich.
Would you prefer the shit sandwich instead? Because it's something.
I don't
mean,
know.
I'd rather.
I want to feel something. I need to feel something. I mean,
I'd rather the game be bad. I'd rather the game be bad. I mean, I got to play Duke Nukem Forever. You feel me? Like that game
Yeah.
was bad, terrible, but I played it. I can say I played it, but it was bad. But like with
Mm,
this, is like I was like there was so much. I would having played the first one multiple times. I was like, hell yeah, let's get a second one. And now to just kind of get let down. It's like I don't know. I mean, it being Ubisoft, am I surprised? No. No, I'm not. Like Ubisoft can't seem to get out of their own way and do anything right ever since Black Flag came out. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know what
Oh.
happened with that, but
you're not a fan of Black Flag?
they haven't done anything good since Black Flag.
Oh, okay. Okay, got you.
Did you like
What's-
Rogue?
Assassin's Creed Rogue, it was an interesting story. I mean, I actually like the premise of it, of when you're basically go against the assassins.
Yeah.
So I watched the playthrough on YouTube because I was not down with joining this. Like that did not morally fit into what I was trying to do. So
Oh,
I couldn't bring myself to play that game.
it's not
That's
not
not
as
one I
bad.
actually want to play. I'll be honest. I haven't really gotten into the series, but Rogue always kind of like maybe go,
Yeah, he's like, I'm an assassin. He realized that, these assassins are messed up. I'm working with the Templars now.
But the whole point is everybody's messed up. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they're all messed up. I mean,
You-
they're all
you gotta
fighting for the
a
pieces of
gray
Eden.
area.
you gotta think even in Assassin's Creed 1, your leader was the fucking bad guy. Like
Yeah.
spoilers.
Trying to get you killed.
haven't played
Trying
that
to get you
old-ass
killed.
game. Yeah, like come on, like the leader of the assassins was working with the other side. So I'm not surprised. Like it's a theme that's been around. It's just I didn't fuck with that. So I didn't. But I did enjoy like Unity. I did enjoy Syndicate for what it was. But it's like Ubisoft
Syndicate
just
was
doesn't-
good. Oh.
Ubi as a whole has just been letting me down slowly, and at the point where I just don't care anymore. I'm probably I can't think of another Ubisoft game that I feel like buying day one. I've been burned with Far Cry 6 and Valhalla at this point. Like they're not getting another dime out of me.
wait, hold up.
What about Sparks of Hope?
Wait,
What's
6 is bad?
6 is a letdown compared to the other ones.
Compared to 3, compared to 4,
Oh,
absolutely is bad.
Okay, I
Absolutely
have a
is
question.
bad
I have a
compared to
question. I have a question about 3. Is it
What's-
fair to say that 3 is bad because they built up Van only to let him lose, die, and not even be the main bad guy.
No,
I mean,
it's not
not
bad.
Van, Vaz.
Voss, it's not bad. You got one of the best villains.
He is, but he is not even the main villain. That's the issue.
That's not important. He served his time because I mean, you can only do the whole "I'm crazy, ha ha ha, I do what I want" shtick for so long. Like I feel like he got killed at an appropriate time in that game.
Mm.
But then it's like, what do you do after that? Because it's like he was just a crazy motherfucker running around. Like there had to be some brains behind this operation because it damn sure wasn't him. He was just unhinged. That was his whole shtick.
It
He
wasn't him.
formulate nothing. He was just like, I just like doing bad things. Like that was his whole MO.
What's the name of that kid? He's like,
He is
I like
legendary,
doing bad things.
Milton. I like smoking.
Yeah, Lil Milton.
Doing,
I like doing bad things. It's fun to do bad things. Want a cigarette?
But yeah, like just a total sociopath and a psycho. Like he had his time. But I like Pagan Men from 4 also. Like the only villain I really didn't fuck with was the one from 5. Like I didn't.
The Seed family.
The Seed family. It was fucked up. It was fucked up. But like once you start getting into all like the underage bullshit and all the shit that was going on, I'm like,
with the daughter, with the sister.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, B. I'm like, nah, I gotta like wipe your whole line out, bro. Like
that was fucked up. That she wasn't even the first fave. That was even worse.
She was not. Like this has happened to other people. I'm like, bruh, I gotta wipe your whole bloodline out, bruh. Y'all gotta go. All of y'all gotta go.
Yeah,
generational curse.
I think they were. I actually think they were good villains. They were just like very fucked up villains. Also, I find it funny about the side quest about the Trump 2020.
I think the other part of it is like the realism tied into that because like you could literally see that shit happening.
Yeah, this was in the United States. Like this, like normally,
yeah,
it was in
fucking Montana. It was fucking in Montana, like fucking like weird polygamous fucking cults and shit. Like you can see that this could happen. This could totally.
No, it can. It totally can be a thing in America. Like that's a crazy thing about it. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like. That's why I kind of like mess with 5 because it's like we don't get too many games that talk about like what is for America, and if America fucks up, and that was one of them. Not better than 4 and 3, but it was a pass for me. 6.
Yeah, it was 6.
4 was so slow for me. I just couldn't get into 4. Like I was just like, I'm just running to each compound. I don't know. I couldn't pay attention.
Now, and none of that shit holds a flame to Blood Dragon though. And that's my shit. Blood Dragon
is fantastic, but Blood Dragon was mostly gameplay. It hardly had any story element to it.
It didn't need it. It was just fun, like being in like a weird, like quirky '80s fucking homage to '80s action movie. That's literally all I wanted. And it's like it's cheesy, but it works. Like it was great. Even the corny one-liners, like fucking his name is Rex Colt. Like what a stupid ass name, but the whole premise behind it was dope. Yeah, like I wish Ubisoft would do better, but I mean, like I said, I'm not really surprised.
I will give a shout out to Sparks of Hope. I think Sparks of Hope is a good game, but other than that, I can't really speak for how poor they're doing.
Well, I mean, if you tie in, Mario and shit, sure, we can get some traction. Like at this point, I need them to go back to basics. Go back to fucking Rayman and start the fuck over. Like,
Rayman, side scroller. That's actually a fun.
Rayman held it down. No,
Rayman
Origins. Yeah.
Butthole.
I would even take Origins over the whole Rabbit.
Oh wow!
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll co-sign that shit.
I mean, I liked Origins. I didn't play what was the other one? There was another one that was on Vita and PS4. Oh, Legends. Okay.
Yeah.
Legend and Origins were great. It's the Rabbit theme. Well, that way you lose me.
Really?
Yeah.
They were trying to touch. They were trying to touch that weird fan base, that little kid fan base. That
you need to play Rayman 1, 2, and I forgot if 3 exists, but at least 1, 2.
Well, I played
That's
the old
OP
ones too.
Rayman.
Yeah, I played the old ones. I played the old ones in Origins.
Yeah. Rayman Origin and
no,
Origin were great.
Rayman 3 does exist. That was a Hoodlum Havoc, and that totally exists. It was on the GameCube and the PS2.
This is
I didn't
kind of so basically they're stuck with the Crash issue. Look what they're doing now with Crash, which is a weird multiplayer game instead of actually building what they did with 4.
Yep, you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't care about their old franchises though. Like they're not doing them any service. Like there's so many ways to make those older games fresh. Like the technology is here now.
Yeah,
It's here now. You know what I mean? Like
we
can
have
we can get some platformers out of it. We can absolutely get some dope platformers out of this, and they just don't want to do it.
we have an SSD. There is no need for whatchamacallit, long
Ever.
loading screen
Ever.
whatsoever. So why not make a game that makes use of that? Why not make a game that takes platforming to the next level?
Really quick, I have a question about that. In terms of, well, are you guys talking about a AAA game, or do you not care? Could it be AA?
I mean, at this point, the type of game that Rayman and Crash and shit are, those games are cheap. I'm like, why are you going away from that? To make a 2D platformer is not a money sink of a game. You know what I mean?
I agree.
There's not a bunch of dialogue. You know what I mean? Like there's not like you're not paying a bunch of voice actors. You can literally do this with like a team of like 7 to 10 fucking people.
Good point.
As far as on the voice side, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be cartoon. Like it's not gonna be photorealistic or anything. So it's
just a matter of passion.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like it's doable, and like I said, it's cost effective. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be $100 million game because it just
right. That was yep.
That does not need to be. It does not need a AAA budget. I expect a AA budget, and I'm 100% okay with that because at the end of the day, it's about the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're getting borderline battle royales with fucking Crash. Like y'all are just jumping on trends. Like you're not going back to your bread and butter. How is Nintendo so successful? Because they stick to their bread and butter and they add slight twists to those things. Like every new Mario game, it's still fucking Mario. There's just a slight now twist on the formula that they've been doing since Mario's been a thing. Same with Zelda.
Did you play Sackboy Adventure?
No.
That's a great platformer. Bosses are repetitive, some of them, but when it comes to platforming, when it comes to enjoyment, that's a great platformer. The story is generic, bland, but platforming aspect, it's an amazing platformer. I recommend it.
Okay, nope. I did Little Big Planet 2, but I just haven't touched that franchise since then. So
yeah, but I think we got everyone. Maybe I forgot someone. Got to this topic. No, then let's move on to our final topic, which is going to be the Activision Blizzard deal.
The groans heard round the world because this topic.
Yeah, I'm so done with it, but Microsoft announced new numbers, so we're gonna talk numbers now. I'm just pulling it up. Oh, before I do, very quick, PlayStation 5 outsells the Switch in Japan for the 4th week in a row. Is it now almost like it's set in stone that PlayStation no longer have development production issue?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, they increased production, and also the Nintendo Switch has been out for God knows how long.
Yeah, 5 years.
Switch keeps selling.
Switch is still selling. Like Like that PS5 sales advantage will change as soon as Zelda drops. So like, just 100%
Yeah.
understand that.
And Final
One
Fantasy
sec-
16 is why PS5s are selling in Japan.
that's
When I go to
now
the
they're stopped.
So
right, like when I go to all the YouTube channels right now, there's 2 games I see comments for: Resident Evil 4 on PS5 and Final Fantasy 16 on PS5. That's why all those sales like 50,000 a week. After that, they're gonna need to keep the momentum, but or remake. Well, then there'll be remake.
Yeah, so this is a good
Yeah,
year
from
for PlayStation
16.
in Japan, for sure.
from Final Fantasy 16, they're gonna go to 7 remake too.
Right.
Like, yeah, they're gonna absolutely find a way to keep the momentum going.
Yep.
And they
Yeah.
already did well with Forspoken. So there's that. Now going to the next topic. PlayStation. Okay, so Microsoft announced their numbers. PlayStation to Xbox market performance revealed by Brad Smith from Microsoft today. Europe, 80-20 in favor of PlayStation, 80-20%. And they're leaving out Nintendo right now. This is strictly just PlayStation and Xbox. Japan, 96 versus
Good
4.
point. Mhm.
Global, 70-30 in favor of PlayStation. End of 2022 sales, 69-31 in favor of PlayStation. Keep in mind, this isn't specifically about Xbox Series to PlayStation 5 sales. It's comparing the last several generations.
Yeah.
They're saying now the gap between Series S and X with the PlayStation 5 is all close to 10 mil between the two. PlayStation shipped around 30 plus mil, and Xbox around low 20 mil. It's an estimation because Xbox don't reveal the number. Yeah. With that being said, Brad Smith
Well,
said, yeah, go ahead.
hold on, before you can actually Yobi, I 100% agree with that. I was saying this shit last year when I was like, they're doing false scarcity by forcing you to only buy it from PS Direct, and you can only buy the bundles. You couldn't buy the standalones. They were fudging the numbers a little bit. I don't think that hardware disadvantage was as overblown as they let it out to be. They just
Oh,
weren't putting the shit on shelves. I
oh,
100% agree with that. I mean, it's smart. Obviously, it worked out because now it's like you can go to the store and see them. I see a PlayStation every time I go out into
I
like
feel like
the
the Wii
department
did
store.
that in their first 2 years from launch back in 06, 07.
Well, I mean, when
They
you
did?
think about
Because
it,
I just thought it's funny. It's
makes
like
a
you
lot
can't
of
find
sense.
it in the store, but it was absolutely in stock on PS Direct as long as it was bundled. You could absolutely get them. So people are saying, "I can't get one." Bitch, go to PS Direct. Like they're there. Like you can't
Yeah.
get one in
I
the
don't.
store. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to order it from them.
it makes sense
I
to
don't
cut
want the
out the
stuff in the
middleman.
bundle.
Well, if you're trying to get back into black, that makes the most sense, to make them only get it to you, because then you're cutting out the
Yep.
middleman.
Yep. You don't got to pay the store their cut. No, it's all going to you.
I mean,
so, yeah, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
I know. I know. No, I was gonna say because we recently just on the PC sector, we recently had a company AMD. Finally, we figured out AMD did that with their graphics cards, and community is not happy.
Yeah.
Curbs making scarcity for basically to make a profit.
Yep.
You talking about Nvidia?
No, not Nvidia. AMD got
AMD.
caught.
Ooh.
Yeah, with their 7,000. I think it's with their 7,000 series. Yeah, they created a little bit of a scarcity on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it makes business sense, but you also have to. Your card also has to be in demand. Like compared to the 40 series, it just ain't.
They both suck right now. PC gaming is, especially with the crazy optimization issues with these recent titles that are $70. It's not looking good on PC end right
I feel
now.
like since I built my PC, it hasn't been great for PC gamers. I was buying it when RAM was outrageous expensive. I know it's come down now, but back in 2018, oh my god!
I know,
Yeah.
bro. My build was in like 2019. I already fucking know.
Yeah.
I have 2 points now I want to make. I'm gonna start with Activision Blizzard go through. Activision Blizzard doesn't go through. What happened if Activision Blizzard go through, do you think a big shift gonna happen?
No.
And if so, what is Microsoft's next step? Are they gonna try to acquire another big publisher?
I think so.
Yeah.
You think they're
I
going to
guess I
acquire
could-
another big publisher? I think that I'll come in.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
start.
go ahead.
You're
Go.
an Xbox dude.
How I personally think this is going to go is they're going to make all Activision Blizzard games. Like they're not going to have. They're not going to get any exclusives from any existing titles that already exist. That's the only
Mhm.
way that's. I honestly feel that's a concession that's going to need to be made. Like Call of Duty, notwithstanding, like they're not really going to get a bunch of exclusives that aren't
I think you get
that are.
Yeah, but I don't. So you're
some of
saying?
the old. I think the old games
Go ahead.
that
Oh,
come
no.
back, like Crash and Spyro, if they bring those back, I think those.
I
Crash
don't
is
think.
kind of coming back.
Huh?
I don't think it will.
Actually, that's kind
Because
of smart, Pharaoh.
apparently now, even with 10+ years, and the CMA still is thinking of saying no. So,
Well, I mean,
and this
the
for
CMA,
all of Activision. What? Go ahead.
but while the CMA does present a challenge to Microsoft, I mean, England is so small. Like them leaving the EU makes it much smaller of an issue than anything because they just have to leave the UK, which is a very small island. It's not heavily populated, relative to the rest of the world. Like the UK doesn't have more people than the fucking state of Texas. So I mean,
No, because the UK is important. So if they don't get UK, then
no, it's not as no. I'm saying it's not
It's
that
not.
important. It's like it would be the equivalent.
no.
It would be
You
it
are.
would
Go
be the
ahead.
equivalent of like I said, like if like Texas said you can't make your games here anymore. Like okay, we'll just leave Texas. Not a.
We're going to New York. We're going to New York.
You are underestimating just how big the UK deal is, and let me explain. A decision is. Let me explain why. If the UK say no, you bet your money that Australia is gonna say no. If Australia say no, hey, we have yet to hear what Europe is gonna say. If Europe say
Call
no,
of Duty's not even allowed.
Call of Duty is not allowed in Australia,
It's not
so it doesn't
allowed
matter.
in Australia. So they don't
it
care
doesn't
about
matter.
that.
Can't play
It doesn't
no, but
matter.
they
It
can't
doesn't.
play it.
It
The
doesn't
big-
matter. It
Call of
doesn't matter. So the
It
deal
does.
needs to go through. No, the companies need to not companies. The countries need to approve of the deal in order for it to go through, and you need a certain percentage.
They don't.
Not every country. Not every country has to.
They don't. You have to break it down. Like how much money is Microsoft willing to lose out by not selling their products in these countries for them denying the deal?
And Australia doesn't allow M-rated games. Like you can't play Grand Theft Auto.
Australia-
there.
No,
Yeah.
Australia blocked Project Gotham Racing.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
can't-
conservative they are.
you can't play
I'll never
anything over
forget
there. Like no one cares about Australia.
And you're paying double. Like the prices over there. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you pay
Like,
like $130 for one
game-
game. You pay like $130.
Yeah, you paying double. It's insane.
Okay,
It's insane.
crazy.
Like that's not like if the EU says nah,
That's a bigger
Ouch.
deal because that's like
if the
26
EU says
countries.
it, that's pretty much gonna kill it. If the
That's like
EU
26
says
countries.
nah,
The EU
it's done.
The EU is what's important.
okay. So clearly,
If they get the EU but don't get the CMA, I'm willing to bet that they're gonna play hardball with the UK. Like, hey, if we got to pull Microsoft products out of your shit, how you gonna run your government, bro? Because all y'all shit run on Windows PCs.
It wouldn't be. It would just be the Xbox. It would just be Xbox products. It wouldn't be the entire Office.
I mean, it shouldn't be, but we don't know how that would look.
One thing for sure, the deal is no longer set in stone. The deal is no longer in favor of going through. It's just now almost like 50-50.
Yeah, it's
I would say
close.
more than 50-50
to the
because
point-
the EU is already pretty much leaning towards approving it. China's about to approve it. It's only literally one country, and that country isn't as important as it thinks.
And the other thing is, if the EU approves it, FTC their
So if you
their hands are tied.
So basically, if all the major countries except one approve it, it's not going to kill the deal. So I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say 50-50.
Phil Spencer came out and said that even if the deal doesn't go through, Xbox still gonna exist.
Yeah.
Hey, good on him for saying that.
Xbox is
but
big.
yeah, okay. To me,
go to hell because this deal just materialized like 2 years ago. They
what I
already
mean by
had plans
that
in motion
is
prior to this deal
it's
being.
like he doesn't sound that not hopeful, but like certain that the deal going to go through. Like and I'm gonna
speaking
even
as a
say
matter
even
of fact, like this deal doesn't make or break us for Microsoft.
He's actually being extremely honest because
he's speaking from a position of power, not from a position of we need this to happen or we can't.
He could be out here begging like a certain fucking company is like, oh please don't take it away because that's where we get our first party funding. No, he's straight up like we're still going to be around even if this deal doesn't happen, which is true. Now if he came out with some bullshit saying, oh we don't get this, we're going to have to sell off Xbox. Now we're getting into some bullshit. But like that he could either say nothing or say the truth, which is they're still going to be around even if this doesn't happen.
Microsoft Brad Smith came out and said that Nintendo is getting, I think, Activision or Xbox game, and then he retracted his statement. So a lot of stuff. You read?
Let me intervene on that. So there was a whole little tweet debate about that whole thing. Basically, all they said was that Xbox was getting Call of Duty, and then people thought that was all the games. But then they made another tweet saying it's just Call of Duty,
Not
but
Xbox,
that doesn't.
It's Switch.
No, Nintendo Switch. Sorry.
They said Nintendo was getting Call of Duty.
Yeah,
and then
they're getting all of it,
all the games, and then they said no, we didn't say anything about all the games, but it's not out of the question that you can't, because you can still get the rest of the games. So it's it's up. So that's up in the air. But Call of Duty is definitely guaranteed for the Switch or hopefully the newer console. Hopefully,
we've seen it. They did it with Ori. They can totally. They've shown that they're willing to put their games on other platforms, which is fine. So
heck, they wanted to put Game Pass on Steam. I didn't even realize that.
They even wanted to put Game Pass on PlayStation. PlayStation rejected, and Nintendo rejected. So there is that. Nafi, what's your thoughts?
Honestly, I think EU's trying to fight against this really doesn't mean much. I mean, EU can they get Apple to get USB-C ports onto their damn iPhones? What makes you think that they can stop this damn deal? It's going to go through. It's just everybody. It's just going to go through.
Wasn't that an EU victory to force the USB-C? Or it technically wasn't forcing of USB-C. It was forcing of not Lightning.
Right? Yeah. It was supposed to be the common port. Like everyone's going over to USB-C because it's one, a faster port, and two, it's more universal. And Apple was the only ones like, no, let's just use our own Lightning cable. And EU was trying to stop that, and apparently Apple's still going around giving us Lightning cable bullshit. just saying, everyone's like, oh yeah, EU can stop now.
No, it's a moral victory. That's all they care about. It's the moral victory to say that they stuck it. You know, they stuck it to the big court.
I'm about to say this deal is going to go through. I already know it. It's just a matter of time. Like right now, Sony's crying like, oh no, we can't get Call of Duty. They take Call of Duty away. I'm like, oh yeah, but at the same time, Hogwarts Legacy comes out. They got exclusive deals, exclusive story missions. for their PlayStation. I'm like, oh, that's not really competitive friendly. I mean, hey, look at Destiny. Even though they bought Destiny 2 now, Bungie technically they own it. So
we're being real.
They got.
Every company does that, though. Literally, every company has.
Harry Potter is such a big brand, bro. They're literally taking that away from people by not.
Not
giving them-
enough.
between-
It's time. It's
between-
time.
It's
between
I don't know if that mission is timed. We'll see.
between
It's
I'm about to say,
time.
and look at Naruto, and look at the Naruto the recent play show. They brought back the Naruto 4th
Storm?
gen, and then all of a sudden add DLC that's exclusive to PlayStation.
like.
But how is that? Wait,
but you
hold
have to
up.
be-
How
we
is
also have
that?
to be realistic here. If we like, you can't say everyone does it. There's 3 companies. There's Xbox, there's Nintendo, and there's PlayStation. And out of the 3 companies, PlayStation locks up more exclusive content from third party than anyone else in the industry. Like Nintendo,
Microsoft existed because of that shit. What the fuck is going on here?
how much content
360.
did, how much
I'm-
content did Xbox lock up during the 360? Did they lock up? I mean, I know they did. But it wasn't-
PlayStation look.
but
They
it's
have-
never been
well,
to the
what do
point
you
that
mean?
PlayStation
You mean like DLC or IP?
No. PlayStation lost big IP during the 360 era to Microsoft. We're talking DMC. We're talking Final Fantasy. We're talking
Hold up,
Final
no, Devil May
Fantasy.
Cry was definitely on
There-
PlayStation. I played Devil May
There
Cry
was
on
no
PlayStation.
exclusive Devil May Cries or Final Fantasy.
No,
in
I'm
weekend. What do
talking
you
about
mean?
time exclusivities and
There
stuff
was
like
no
that.
time
Exclusivity for
There
those
was no
either.
there was no time exclusivity for that. I had both consoles. Like,
Oh, the biggest thing that they locked down was Mass Effect, and that was very short lived. That ended up coming to PlayStation at some point. Like
Yeah, that.
they should have locked that bitch down. They should have honestly bought BioWare, but they didn't do that. They
Yeah,
already ate.
BioWare was the one that got
They
away.
should have had
That's the thing
BioWare.
that got away. That would have been a
Fuck.
great wifey.
Mass Effect as a exclusive would have been, but
That
no.
would have been big. But yeah.
No,
Anyway,
you didn't get that. Like they definitely had the Call of Duty marketing. They got Call of Duty the maps like a month early or some
yeah,
shit.
they
And
were
then
the
that
home
shit
of
stuck.
Call of Duty and Medal of Honor. Like Medal of Honor was bigger than Call of Duty back then.
Yeah, they were
they
the shooter
let
box.
that die.
They
let
were
that
they were
die.
the shooter box
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's like you can't say that they was out here locking like Final Fantasy. That's locked down now. Like that's
always
Yeah,
been
it's
locked
6
down.
month
It's
exclusive.
It's always
It's
been
6
locked
month
down.
exclusive.
What Final Fantasy came out on the 360? I can't think of one.
The same
13.
13,
13
2?
360?
13 3.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Final
thought
Fantasy 15 came
type-
to Xbox. What are you
that was
talking
Xbox
about?
One.
Type
That was
0
Xbox
wasn't on
One.
360,
That was
though.
Xbox One. I thought 13 and
15 came to
15.
Xbox One.
15 came to Xbox. That's
15.
what Richard said.
15. I could have swore that 15 was the first mainline one to release at the same time as PlayStation.
No, it was
No.
13. No, it was
15
13.
came
And
at the same
the problem
time.
with 13 is
it was
13
horrible.
also looked like shit on the 360 because there was no Blu-ray discs. So you also got a highly lower res version of that game.
Yeah.
It was definitely gimped. It was absolutely gimped. If you wanted picture quality, like if you wanted that game to look like how they intended it to look, you had to play that shit on a PS3. There was no other option.
Mm-hmm.
Playing that shit on Xbox was ugly. I could go across the hall. I was in my college dorm when I played 13. I could go across the hall, dude had a PS3. That shit looked crisp as fuck. I'm like, I don't get this experience because I'm on a fucking
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just mad that like Sony's crying about exclusivity problems, and here they are. I can name Hogwarts Legacy, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy 16, Destiny,
and 7.
Well, they've got marketing
and Final
rights in the DLC.
Fantasy 7 remake. Final Fantasy 7 remake. It didn't even come to Xbox. It came to PC, but
Well,
yeah,
it's the
that's
marketing
off the
rights.
bat.
Remember, you
Bro.
can buy Hogwarts on Xbox. It's just that one DLC, right?
Yeah, it's that DLC.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a what?
but
No,
one
that
DLC.
DLC is even timed. That's it.
Xbox bought Bethesda, and the first Bethesda games came to PlayStation on exclusivity before they came.
I mean,
to-
shoot, I'm thinking about getting that deal for that new Outer Worlds update, man.
Do you own the Outer Worlds, Kofi?
I don't, but I'm thinking about getting it on sale because it's on sale.
So get it on sale because then the upgrade is $5.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Oh,
you're paying.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're paying 50. Otherwise, you're paying 50 for the big version. So if you can get
Yeah.
the current version on sale,
It's on
do
sale
that
for like
and then pay
25
$5.
right now.
yeah, and then you got the new joint for 30 if that's the case. So
Yeah, I'll
there
do
you go.
that. Because I want that DualSense support. And I always thought that game looked kind of cool. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
Wait,
heard a
it
lot
have
of good
dual
things about that one.
support?
Yeah,
it's getting
the next
DualSense
gen-
support. It's getting
the next
completely
gen. It's the
up-res.
next gen version.
Yep, updated frames and everything,
Yeah, because
and new DLC. I think there's like additional content too.
No, it's all the DLC. There's no new content.
Oh,
It's all the DLC that's existed though. It's like
Okay.
new lighting, like better graphics and shit. Like
Isn't
characters
that,
don't look like
isn't that
ass. and
amazing
certain
that,
cutscenes.
Xbox will go that extra mile for that, but like you can't even get quick resume on MLB The Show.
you can't.
No, it doesn't work.
PlayStation said, "Fuck that. We're not using any of your features. Just load that bitch up and play."
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. PlayStation is
Coffee,
petty,
what's your
G.
thought?
PlayStation petty.
What's your
Excuse me.
thought on this whole deal?
About this whole
Yeah, you think it's gonna go through or no?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I still think it's going to go through. I wouldn't be surprised if there are caveats. But I just don't see the EU finding any reason to rule out, and I think that will start the domino effect for this going through. I'm very curious. I mean, maybe you guys answer a question for me. When is there supposed to be FTC details for this? Is that this summer, like June?
Yeah, it's
All right,
Yeah.
so
late.
But the timeline of the FTC has nothing to do with it getting approved. Is that correct?
well, the
No.
FTC is not actually.
That's America.
Yeah, they don't actually block the deal. They just tell you what they think is wrong with it, and they can take you to court on it, but they don't have the power to actually block. So it has to
Okay.
it's like a judge would have to block the deal.
Right.
Yeah,
the FTC.
they make it really inconvenient to move forward. Like most,
Right.
at the worst, the company trying to buy it just bows out because they don't want to deal with the legal headache and hassle that comes
Yeah,
with it.
so
I know what
and the
happened
money
with,
that's spent.
What happened with what I'm call it? That ARM deal that was gonna go through and then it didn't.
Yeah, the Nvidia. Oh no, that would have put Nvidia. Oh my god, if Nvidia got the ARM deal, you know how many Nvidia stuff we will get? There will be no shortage whatsoever.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
have they would have killed the chip market if they did that. That's
Yeah,
why
they everything would have been Nvidia. Like even in a 30 series when they had that whole scalper issue, there would be so many GPUs that it would be really hard to scalp. And they can cut supply from AMD.
But then they would also still be charging us these stupid ass prices though. That's the other thing.
Yeah. I hate
They
these prices
definitely
right
were going to. They definitely were going to, whether there was a shortage or not. So
it was so bad that tech companies who don't have anything to do with these chips, like software companies, nah, you can't let that deal.
Samsung got into it. They were like, nah. Like every LG, like companies you never think of that wouldn't care.
Facebook, Google, they all said, nah, y'all.
Nah. They everybody was fearing for their lives because they were like, oh shit, Nvidia is about to own everything. They might as well buy Taiwan while they're at it.
because you got to think, even all these consoles that are on the market, they would have to switch to Nvidia at that point because that would be
AMD
that would
chips
be the
would
big
not
dog.
be.
And that's rough.
It would have been bad on phones. Nvidia.
Coffee, are you done?
So yeah, I guess I think the deal will go through. I think there might be some caveats because I think at this point, as the time goes on, I think Microsoft will be more willing to give up certain things that might have to be agreed to make it go faster. Because I'm guessing it's going to cost more and more money as they wait.
Yeah, it keeps
but it's
costing
still-
them more money.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, now it's going to be this much million. All right, how about we give up this and then just get this over with? And I'm sure, I think we were debating this, that there might be other acquisitions that have been lined up and nobody can talk about them until this mess is done. So please let it finish so we can get on with our
Sony just
gaming.
acquired somebody the past couple of weeks. Just Xbox.
Probably.
Xbox's acquisitions are put on hold until this deal is done. They can't acquire anything else.
Maybe that's Sony's
too.
plan.
Anybody that's being discussed in these deals or has had a say in it can't really announce anything right now.
Sony just made an announcement. I think last week they acquired something. PlayStation.
I don't think they announced it, but it was
didn't.
leaked.
Yeah, they didn't announce it. It was in records, but they haven't publicly came out and said anything because for them to publicly come out and say anything, it's like, oh, Oh, I
Go
see that you guys are still able to go buy shit, huh?
right.
Oh,
Right.
you guys can still go get some content for your stuff, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, they got that 6-month exclusive with Final Fantasy. I mean, hey, PC players, we're left high and dry till Christmas.
And it might not come out at Christmas. I'm thinking like March.
So
Oh my god.
so
I don't think it's going to come
Okay.
out like right when the 6 months are up. I think it's going to be when they're ready.
Sarah, what you thought?
I think the deal will ultimately go through. I think that in reality, Xbox is being treated unfairly in this deal, being that they're not the market leader. They're like third place among consoles and like fourth place among gaming companies. They're being treated unfairly because they're attached to Microsoft. So they're not looking at Xbox. They're looking at Microsoft owning Activision and the power that. But Microsoft keeps Xbox separate. Like Microsoft doesn't dabble in Xbox as outside of just giving them money to do what they want to do. But I think the deal ultimately goes, and we'll everyone will be kumbayaing at the end, and I think Microsoft might have one, maybe two more publishers that they have their eye on, but they're going to be a lot smaller. I don't think they ever plan to
Wait,
purchase
you
Activision.
think after this it's gonna go another publisher? I don't think they'll be able.
They'll go to another. They'll go to another publisher, like how PlayStation bought Bungie, their publisher. They bought them, and they didn't have to go through any of the regulatory bodies. That's the type of deal I think they would have.
PlayStation Bungie is literally working on its own. Like PlayStation have no interference whatsoever.
None of that matters when they're still a
None of it
publisher,
matters.
though.
You still
It
bought. You
doesn't. They're a
still
publisher.
bought them. Still bought them.
Yeah, one of the biggest first person shooters out there.
Yeah, they still bought them. So
If not the biggest right now, that's not named COD. Like
I don't
yeah.
think Activision was a part of Xbox's plan. They never planned on purchasing Activision. Activision came to them and it was like, well, it's too good to pass up. And then they reached out to Satya and all them other big execs, and they were like, you know what, you're right, it is too big to pass up, and they bought it. You know,
Get out of that lawsuits.
You know, it's like when you walk into a store, you see a deal that's too good to be true, and you buy something that you probably shouldn't have bought, and then you come home and you're like, why the fuck did I buy this? That's the Activision deal. So
Gotcha.
I still think that they have. I think their focus was on getting an Eastern publisher at the time. But you know, Activision fell in their lap. So I don't think they're done yet.
Gotcha. And with that being said, we have come to the end of the show.
Well,
This
before we go to
intro,
the end
we're
of the show,
missing.
I did
What?
want to ask a question because y'all brought up
Go ahead.
the Final Fantasy exclusivity. Final Fantasy is a very big franchise, right? We can all agree that. Do you,
Yes.
Yes. Now, do you guys think that their exclusivity deals with PlayStation is actually harming them long term because less eyes are getting on their game?
Kind of, yes. I mean, Square Enix has always had a close relationship with Sony, and then
I'm
especially
saying,
in the Japanese.
Has that relationship started to become a hindrance? Is what I'm asking. Because like
No,
a game like Final Fantasy VII Remake has not reached,
and here,
has not
Yeah.
eclipsed 20 million sales yet.
okay, now here is why it's a no. How much did Crisis Core sell on Xbox? This is the beginning of Final Fantasy VII.
It's not the biggest game.
No, it's literally.
Final Fantasy VII Remake being everywhere day one. I'm not talking about just on Xbox. I'm talking about Steam. Like everywhere day one.
Epic Game Store. It was.
It wasn't on Epic Game Store day one. It didn't come till Epic.
We'd be talking about 30 mil right now. We would absolutely be talking about 30 million copies of that game sold right now.
The impact of that sale and the streams and everyone concurrent, by the time Final Fantasy made it to those other platforms, the hype for the game had died.
It did.
So that's what I'm
Final
saying. Do you think?
Fantasy.
Yeah.
No, Final Fantasy, the IP have been dwindling. That's the issue. Welcome to the hardcore fan base.
Well,
Which is
But
why
everyone
people,
knows 7 though. 7 is
Sorry?
a big one.
yeah, seven is
okay.
it's famous.
Even with a dwindling franchise, the highest grossing Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 15. And
Is it?
Yes, the highest selling
And
Final Fantasy.
even
Yeah.
then, and
Yeah.
even then,
What about
Well,
14?
No, because that's the MMO. That's different. That's not
Yeah,
a
that's
main-
an
Why,
MMO.
why is it? Why is it
That's-
different? Well, why is it different? We're
because
talking about the IP and how much money it's made.
It's not a mainline title.
What?
It's not a
Well,
mainline. It's not.
That's a
It's
lie.
an MMO.
It's a
It's a
mainline title.
numbered Final Fantasy.
It's an
It's a
MMO.
numbered Final
it's a
Fantasy.
mainline
Tell me
title.
why
It's a
it's
mainline-
not a main title. It has a
Do you,
story.
do you consider 11 a mainline title?
I do.
I don't. It's an
Yeah,
MMO.
but this is
I consider those MMOs. Like
They are MMOs, but
But
MMOs
who-
can't be
but,
mainline
like-
titles.
I
wouldn't
think
consider- I
Square
wouldn't consider-
Enix considers it mainline. I think Square Enix considers it mainline. So I think that overrules your opinion.
They list Final Fantasy 15 as their highest grossing Final Fantasy.
See, I think the subscription numbers in all of the platforms that 14 is on has made it more money than 15.
I would agree that
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. I
Okay.
would agree that Final
Here-
Fantasy 14 has made the most money. I will agree with that, but I don't. But when they list the highest
So
grossing
what-
Final Fantasy, they list Final Fantasy 15 as the highest one.
Okay, they list that. Okay,
Okay.
and yet they
So
still
what
can't.
I'm
No,
saying,
listen though. Let me
no, 'cause I
explain
never
though.
got to finish my point. So
Go ahead,
you
go ahead,
guys have to listen.
But
Final Fantasy 15
But-
is the highest selling Final Fantasy. That is the only, and ironically, that's one of the only ones that released everywhere day one.
and they still
PC got
canceled
it
the
a year
DLC
later.
for it.
Well,
They
Nah.
still.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
say PC. We got that. PC. We got a year later, but we got all the DLC with it. So that's and the same thing they did with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. We got a year later, but we got the Yuffie DLC. So that's
At that time though, like PC wasn't getting those type of games. Like PC and console was getting very different type of games at that many years ago. It was like 7, 8 years ago that 15 came out.
20.
Yeah, something like
15?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
that's
approaching 8. We are approaching 8.
Like the console type games being on PC is kind of like newish over the past like it.
I wouldn't say because I mean I could get a lot of old titles and stuff. They were coming out on PC too. Granted, they may take a little bit longer to come out on PC, but
that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't really a thing. It's just starting to become a thing that console games are coming to PC day one. It's becoming more and more of a thing. But yeah, I just think that franchises like Final Fantasy were already big and already established, kind of hold themselves back when they do these exclusivity deals. I don't care if it's PlayStation or Xbox or wherever you do it. Like for instance, Octopath Traveler 2 is probably gonna have its greatest success because it's releasing on multiple platforms at once. Versus when it just Octopath Traveler 1 just released on Nintendo Switch first go around, right?
No, it's
Well,
also
we'll see
on
because
Xbox.
in Japan, sales have not been very impressive for Octo 2. But maybe this is one of those Square Enix things where the Americans, the Americas is where Square Enix is hoping this game sells. Because you might be right. I've seen a lot of PlayStation people buy it, but for some reason, yeah, Octopath Traveler 2 in Japan is pretty far under 1, only on
Is
Switch.
it fair? Is it fair because PlayStation never got one? To say, because you're not familiar with the IP. Why would
That's
you invest
true.
in two if you never played one?
That's very true.
Even if they both are standalone, like 2 and 1 are not the same story-wise, but still, if I never played Octopath Traveler 1, why would I play 2?
True. In general, I get that. Like in the general sense, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw the question out there because I read an article a couple weeks ago and they're saying like exclusivity kind of kills big titles, potential sales, long lifetime.
They do.
They don't get that initial surge of sales everywhere. Kind of carry.
So you're thinking like something like Hogwarts because it's everywhere. That's why it's sold so
Yeah.
great.
Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Hogwarts, like even though PlayStation locked up exclusive DLC, the game is still available everywhere. So the game is still gonna get its maximum sales potential. You know,
If we're
I
talking
will-
maximum sales potential, I could see that being a great point.
I mean, look at the Game Award show. We had recently Elden Ring beat God of War Ragnarok, and all the PlayStation people were like pissed, saying that God of War could easily beat Elden Ring, but Elden Ring sold more.
Yeah, because it just did, because it was everywhere.
Exactly.
They didn't cut off potential revenue streams.
Hold up.
Wait a minute,
Dark
I thought the sales were
Dark
about.
Souls was everywhere. Dark Souls
What?
1 and 2 and 3 was everywhere.
Yeah, and they sold just fine.
and because it was
But
everywhere,
it was never that big. It was never that big.
yeah,
Because the
but
game
Elden
is hard, and
Elden
people don't
Ring
like
isn't
playing
that
hard
big.
games.
Elden Ring doesn't get as big as it is without its predecessor title. Like you still need.
You can say the same thing with God of War.
Yeah, like you build up to that. You don't just like drop. You know, very rarely do you drop one game and it's just a 20 million banger day one. Like that doesn't necessarily happen. You got to build up to that.
Yeah, but I mean, same thing with God of War. How many games does God of War have to build up their audience?
Several.
Persona took till 5 for it to really take off and have it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
Almost
saying. Like,
annoyingly so.
Gotta build up.
yeah. So, but anyway, but that's the one thing about Elden Ring. It was everyone can get it. Everyone can get into it. Not everyone can get into God of War Ragnarok.
How did Tales of Arise sell?
Okay.
It's the best-selling Tales game ever.
Yeah, that game actually
And
did very well.
It's the first finally to sell 1 million as fast as like Symphonia. That was the last record breaker. Symphonia way back in 03.
Did it crack 5 yet?
And
Did it
that
crack
was on
5
the
million?
It cracked
GameCube.
5 million? I don't know about cracking 5 million, but it's the fastest selling Tales game.
Actually, let's see. Tales of Arise sales.
Sorry for the tangent. I just figured I'd throw that out.
No, it's okay. I mean, if it's the best selling in its history, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's good and not really. I mean, it was in development for a long time, and you could tell that there was some things that probably got cut from that game because of I don't know. I just felt like they redid something because there was just no enemies in that game. It was like 4 enemies.
Right now that 25 million. That can't be. They sold 25 million.
No, it must be
Tales
the
of Arise?
franchise. It must be the
That's got to
franchise.
be a franchise. That's
Yeah.
got to be.
No, that's not. No, the Tales
yeah.
of
They
Arise.
ain't no
1 million
bro.
units.
JRPG.
We would have known with that bitch 25.
JRPG.
It's not 25. I'm trying to read this IGN article.
If it sold 25 million, they would announce a sequel, Tales of Arise 2.
Yeah.
That'd have been like out tomorrow.
They would have been. They'd
So
have been
series
like.
units sold
they'd have
up
been
to.
like-
They'd been like already back, like go back to work.
They'd have been like Rockstar.
Oh.
We only make Tales of Arise now. Fuck everything else.
Well, the Telltale series would go crazy because I'm like reading this part and it's like Tales of Arise units sold brings total series. So the series as a whole, the Telltale series as a whole sold up to 25 million.
Right.
Eurogamer.
Okay, so-
I just looked it up. Eurogamer as of hold on. Let me. Damn.
Yeah,
Set
but
it
the
up
first,
right.
but the
As of
At the
April
20
29th, 2022, it sold 2 million copies worldwide. So they're probably
That's pretty good.
They're probably approaching. They're probably above 3 million at the moment. Or
Does that
approaching
include
it.
digital?
I have to read.
I
the
think so.
article.
Sometimes they exclude
But
digital.
that's between both physical and digital sales.
Okay.
Zaba.
Because
So they
like
would-
Japan, they don't
so
do
they-
digital.
So they did 1.5, and then 6 months later they crossed the 2 million threshold in April of last year.
Oh
just
yeah,
act a
so
little-
they might be like another
Tales of-
300,000.
As of April, the highest selling Tales game is Tales of Vesper at 2.8 million. So they should be approaching breaking that.
Yeah.
Be approaching it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Tales series is great. Tales of Rise is great. It's too bad they don't have local co-op, but hey, it's still great.
Yeah, those collab like the collab combos are some of the coolest things to watch.
Yeah,
was just like, Oh,
Once you learn the system, woo!
right. Like I
Like,
had,
is it-
Dohalim is literally one of the coolest characters to ever play. I had this infinite combo where I could just do like sword spin, magic strike, sword spin, and then have what's her name? Who's the girl? I forget the girl with the magic. But then she
With
would just combo with me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I can't remember most of the
Oh,
names.
Rinwell?
Yeah, Rin.
That's when you.
Yeah.
Nappy.
That's when you bully
Nappy.
your kid into playing.
What's
with
up?
Nappy, can you close in? Because I need to leave.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sure.
sorry. Okay, take care, everyone.
There we go.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Yeah. So, I guess we can close it.
All
out.
right.
Sorry for my tangent.
Yeah, let's close
Sorry.
it. Yeah, no, it's
But y'all brought
it's all
up
good,
some good points, and I just thought we should expand.
I got you.
A bit.
Okay, so dang, I haven't closed out before. So Jesus, I don't even know the script.
It's not a big deal. It's not
Oh
script.
yeah.
I got it. Let's see. Just get rid of that. But yeah, so thank you everybody for coming out. Before we leave this podcast, let's give everyone a chance to give outros. Nappy, where can people find you?
All right, everyone. So if you guys want to look for me, you can just go onto that YouTube search bar above this YouTube video right here and just type in Nappy Senshi and
Or in the
my
description.
channel, or in the description. You can click on the description. You'll find my channel. You'll see I do a lot of controller reviews, and also I posted a gameplay demo of the recent game I played. That's right behind me. And also, I'm still working on my mobile controller review. Mobile gaming has been very interesting. I see potential in it with these new, stronger smartphones, but a lot of greed. And I have a new controller coming in the mail this week that I'm extremely excited for. So, yeah, just follow my channel, subscribe. You can also hit me up on Twitter if you have anything to say to me or have any recommendations. Someone already sent me a recommendation for a refurbished controller, and I actually might buy a refurbished controller, which is a no-go for a lot of gamers. So we're going to see how that works.
What I would need to know is when are we gonna have the Hood Ninja headband giveaway?
When I get 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
Make it
1,000
happen.
subscribers. I'll give you guys a couple. I'll make 10 of them and do a giveaway with 10 of them.
Yeah,
different
random,
colors.
Random giveaway once it gets to 1,000. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Jubei, where can people find you, and where can they find us?
Hey, yo,
Just save me
yeah,
for last, but
yeah. I mean, now we can get it out the way. Yeah, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else, Insta, Facebook, you name it. Ambu Smokage on Twitter. You can find me doing my my sponsored stream at some point within the next week or two. I need to
you're sponsored
decide
now.
what game I
Oh,
want.
big dog.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's big money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like who's sponsored. Or is that surprise? Oh, sorry, is that a surprise? No, that's a surprise. I'll
it's
tune
surprise
in
until the stream for sure. Yeah, I got that, and then I'll have another sponsored stream towards the end of the month. If this one goes well, so we'll see.
Big baller. Okay.
Yeah, and of course you can find us anywhere that you like listening to audiobooks or podcasts or listening to anything. So that is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Intune, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Castbox. We're everywhere. You name it. Come check us out. Throw us time while you're doing the dishes or loading up some laundry or something.
Or while you're sleeping, you can just hit the get
or
our numbers up.
or while you sleep. Yep.
Yeah, play us in the background,
Yeah, big shouts to the chat as always. Yobi, Stanley, Allie. I appreciate you guys all coming through. Yeah. We will catch y'all next week, and I guess we'll segue into Kofi giving us that sweet golden voice to play us out.
Thanks, everybody, and great being on here with the panel with everybody. Sorry I missed you guys last week. Hopefully posting reviews for Dragon Quest X Disgaea 7 and Monochrome Mobius on my Twitter feed. And then tomorrow, hopefully I can pick up Octopath Traveler 2. And I already have Wolong pre-ordered. So March is basically set in stone with those two. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you online.
You better play the Outer Worlds, bro.
Yo, yes, I definitely want to play that. So yeah.
You remember how excited I was when that game came out?
Oh, I forgot
And
about that.
And I beat the dog shit out that game.
Mhm.
I actually
Yeah, so that
saved
game's
the
gonna
last
play great.
DLC. I haven't finished the last DLC, and now I get to finish it with the next gen upgrade. But
Wow.
I've done everything else, so I was saving that last DLC, hoping for a next gen upgrade just to finish it out.
Nice.
Hell yeah! I hope everybody out there has a great and wonderful evening, and as always, keep it gaming. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah. See.
Peace.